Just gotta sit here and ramble for a second. This isn't supposed to mean anything right here, right now. All this is an equilibrium where that little bird sits on the edge and there is that great fire behind it. Although, that's its nest, that's its home. And it continually just goes out and flocks. And it frolics, and it frolics, and it dunga-longa dinga-dingus, and a dunga-donga dinga-dingus. And do you see that right there, where I sit on the edge of having even care, right? For I say these things in such a mannerism, that it is requisite that I just nullify them. I disband them from this place of memory and this place of having them be found. For then, if there is no meaning behind those things and they are so silly and they are something that is hard to get over, for in having them, then therefore what am I going for? For it's just so much nonsense. And that's the edge. Sitting there blue-eyed without a care, none of this making sense, not even a cloud to rain down liquid enough to form a solid mixture upon it hitting earth. I roll with it. As if I am what's being rolled for when does something roll, but for when its happening is out of control, making sense then after the fact, after everyone's rolled for it, knowing then its odds and if it is a roll worth rolling for. Then there as things go to and find their footing with tile fitting their style, causing record as to where they are found, and have been only informing.
The lower the job, the higher the fee. For what's the role of a job but to make the work look good? Therefore, the lower the job, the harder it is to make the job work, for the job itself works in accordance with these things. Then what's the fee that it would be higher, the lower the job, that it could then work? For where does one work that there could be a fee, in public and private? For what does work provide but income, meaning that you work below the public and for the public good, even while working in private? For then it is not a job if not for these things. Then there a female so high is for a job so low, for who else would work to bring a state that has no war, but someone so low that they would even dare. But without that, this thing then has no public. And then I ask, is it ever, if never? This then the job of the female to make the job look good, that it may then remain, or it won't be won, where if she doesn't raise up one enough low enough to touch her, then the job won't look good, and is not won, and none of this is. There then is this divinity, a making of heart, and its motion through an unanswerable question that moves one to quest as its answer. It is in this place of fragility where crystal is born, for who could hold back the tears when seeing this, but the one to greet them with open arms? Where then in this most unholy place is the loss of holiness through its gain, as then all of this is seen for what it is. Fahrenheit 451, the temperature at which books burn. For at what degree does a book lose meaning? What is this degree that it would do so to words? For what are words and their composition? And when do they fail? Looking at the composition of what carries them, and then the multitudes of stories that give books life, I try to collapse all of this into words, which is what then the degree is. For at this degree, why look to a book if it cannot tell you what you can see without words? Words are meant to carry a point. And then what if there is no point? Then how does a point do no point justice in its expanse and scope? Is this Fahrenheit 451, where a character's complexity is verging upon its use as a character for writing? For how much more complex, and we have the waking world. The irony in the fire, at which point words become livid, and the fire walks being red, having fed it so much while in the cave, while drinking its sweet milk. These doping mechanics, where everyone's a dope, and the only competition going on is for the best dope, who is then stupid enough to believe they have won, while smart enough to act stupid that there could be record. For what more record is a record of but a record of a record, and nothing more than what's tested, someone's smartness or stupidness? For in so much testing, what record is there but a record of testing? And then with no testing, is there then a record? As why then would one record a thing then without this play? The ancient mechanics of the Olympics and the setting for the stage of life, where ultimately burning up in the sun renders all of this pointless and useless. It's like I don't know, that story of Icarus, set up Plato, but it's all the same play, just a bunch of different races, and they're all testing these characters and languages out, but reach that point of a degree, then it will point you stop to see the race, right? Races. There are no races. There is no race. What's the point? But is there a point beyond Fahrenheit 451 where we see then the point to these things and we can say ourselves that we can play the play? For what do we plate things for but an enjoyment? We plate them, and it's through the presentation, it's through what's on the plate that allows us an experience.